President Sirisena, Excellencies, colleagues and friends. Forests and trees are usually missing from discussions on food security and nutrition. In fact, when forests and trees do get mentioned in that framework, it is in a negative context, either as a territory in waiting to be exploited for further agricultural expansion, or as a realm at risk of deforestation precisely because of expanding farms. If we take a look at the crossroads where forests and trees meet food security and nutrition, we find a mutually beneficial relationship with a large and valuable potential. Forests and trees make direct and plentiful contributions to the food supply while creating rural employment, generating income, providing habitats for 80% of animal species, sheltering the biodiversity we all depend on, protecting soils from erosion, supplying wood for bioenergy and construction, sustaining local and global ecosystem services, including pest control and pollination, stockpiling carbon, preventing floods and landslides, reclaiming greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, supporting resilience, as well as recycling and purifying the water we drink and the air we breathe. Forests and trees are indeed essential to food security and nutrition, as well as to human health and well-being. The daily life of 1 in 5 persons is directly and inextricably linked with forests. The rest of us are not far behind. Forests stand on the front line opposite the great challenge of our time, contributing to climate change mitigation globally and adaptation locally, especially for the most marginalized and vulnerable amongst us, women, children, and the elderly in the so-called Global South, including 60 million forest-dwelling indigenous people around the world. Excelencias, colegas, la creciente demanda de terreno para expandir la producción agroalimentaria, el crecimiento de los espacios urbanos y el avance de los desiertos a consecuencia del cambio climático están produciendo nuevos y alarmantes retos a los bosques del mundo. Al mismo tiempo, la presión sobre el manto forestal ofrece oportunidades. Los bosques pueden ampliar su contribución a la seguridad alimentaria y nutricional a través de la gestión sustentable, los mecanismos de restauración de la foresta y el paisaje o el impulso a los sistemas agroforestales. En este último ámbito, mi país, República Dominicana, dio un salto hacia adelante con el apoyo técnico de la FAO durante nuestro Año Nacional de Desarrollo Agroforestal 2017. Este vasto potencial genera razones adicionales para, primero, proteger los bosques y, segundo, invertir en ellos para así aprovechar las oportunidades para los negocios y el comercio, crear nuevos puestos de trabajo y elevar los ingresos de las familias que habitan en las zonas boscosas. El principal reto es lograr objetivos múltiples en espacios físicos reducidos, con recursos naturales y financieros limitados, haciéndolo de un modo sostenible, mientras se presta la debida atención a los derechos y necesidades de los grupos vulnerables. Este reto debe ser asumido sabiendo que la existencia de diversos intereses entre los actores que convergen en el ámbito forestal, como en cualquier otra esfera donde se requiere tomar acción conjunta, pueden engendrar situaciones de conflicto. Por este motivo, tenemos el deber moral y político de enfrentar los retos inherentes a la sostenibilidad forestal, tanto a nivel local como global, poniendo énfasis en lograr un impacto positivo en materia de seguridad alimentaria y nutricional. This is why, Excellencies and colleagues, we must reflect, discuss, and ultimately give a clear answer to a fundamental question. How can we reconcile the role of forests with sustainable development without compromising the fundamental human right to adequate food and nutrition to which forest-dependent communities are entitled? The scientific and academic recognition of the multiple roles and functions of forests and trees in food security and nutrition needs to be brought to the attention of political decision makers at all levels. The Committee on World Food Security is sending a clear message to the high-level political forum, which is presently meeting at the United Nations headquarters in New York, as we saw from the presentation by the chair of ECOSOC. As we sit here, the pursuit of Sustainable Development Goal 2 of ending hunger, achieving food security and improved nutrition, and promoting sustainable agriculture is being undermined by persistent gaps in access to natural resources such as land and forests. This trend also jeopardizes SDG 15 on protecting, restoring, and promoting sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably managing forests, and combating desertification. While the rate of global forest loss has decelerated over the past 2 decades, deforestation presents an ongoing danger to livelihoods and ecosystems, especially in the tropical regions. A case in point is that 2/3 of the bioenergy used worldwide for cooking and heating involves the inefficient burning of unsustainably produced wood and other biomass. Another distressing challenge for global food security and nutrition is that of water. Agriculture already uses up to 70% of global freshwater. Forests play an essential role in the water cycle, ensuring its quantity, quality, and stability. Beyond SDGs 2 and 15, the linkages extend to many other components of the 2030 Agenda. In particular, SDGs 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, and 17, making evident that interinstitutional coordination, multi-sectorial collaboration, and multi-stakeholder partnerships are essential for policy integration. The Committee on World Food Security, fulfilling its mandate to facilitate policy coherence and convergence on food security and nutrition, endorsed a package of recommendations on sustainable forestry at its 44th session last October in this very room. These policy recommendations, emanating from research conducted by the CFS high-level panel of experts, call on countries to develop, implement, and monitor policies on integrated agriculture and forest management, in line with other CFS products, such as the guidelines on the right to food and on the governance of tenure, and the principles for responsible investments. The HLPE concluded that sustainable forests is a key component of sustainable food systems. The CFS model for policy coherence and convergence consists of an inclusive, intergovernmental, and multi-stakeholder process based on scientific evidence. This is what we offer to the Committee on Forestry, that you consider incorporating the positive experiences and constructive lessons of CFS into your work, so as to expand and strengthen policy outcomes through partnerships and collaboration. To conclude, the scientific and academic consensus is that sustainable agriculture that can provide food security and improved nutrition for all cannot be achieved at the expense of forests. Blossoming, healthy, and productive forests constitute a crucial, indispensable pathway to sustainable socioeconomic development and ultimately to achieving Sustainable Goal 1 of ending poverty in all forms everywhere. Thank you.